This hasn't been playing for well over a year.
Hand off to Lewis, and he goes back to the 2. That's 2 times now on this possession that the Browns have.
Dallas 26. They've got 2 receivers each way. And Anderson under center. Back 5 sets. Ware coming from behind. Hit him when the ball came out. And it's a fumble picked up by Steptoe at the 20-yard line. And that's going, if that's a fumble, it's going to be a fumble recovered by Steptoe.
Forward. By rule, it's a fumble. Fourth down.
So they wound up picking up 10 yards on that.
Now, see if Wade Phillips would like to challenge this. I'm sure they're in the booth.
2nd and 3. Westbrook waiting for him. DeMarcus Ware. Pro Bowler the last
13. 4-man rush. Standing. Rushed. Flushed out. Hit and flushed out. Ware chasing. Ware grabbing. Ware sacking at the 40-yard line. It's been a marathon for DeMarcus Ware, and he finally got there. And the Eagles are forced to use their last timeout with 1:10 remaining.
And I just wonder if Donovan McNabb is not just running out of gas a little bit at the risk of sounding like one of his former teammates, but he has been moving and running and fighting people off. And that's a ball he should have just tossed into the stands and come back to fight another play here.
Well, 4th and 17. All right, how do you approach it defensively other than exhausted and gasping?
Yeah.
No, seriously. Well, you just go farm. It's brought to you by Sonic. It's not just good, it's Sonic good. 2nd down. Rodgers back to throw. Retreats in trouble. Sack. Back at the 40-yard line. DeMarcus Ware finally got his nightly sack.
He's had 1 correct in each of the first 2 games.
Right.
And if you go back to last week, it was the second to the last play of that football game where DeMarcus Ware finally got to Donovan McNabb. And, of course, Greg Ellis got to him the next play, but there's the same thing's going to happen here. This may be about the 3rd or 4th play from the end of this game, but DeMarcus Ware gets his sack.
3rd and 7 here. Shotgun for Campbell. Back looking up the middle. Pressured again. Hit again. Sacked again. DeMarcus Ware got his sack early today, and Ratliff in to clean up some on the garbage.
Well, DeMarcus Ware has had a sack in 6 straight games. Make that 7 now, and I believe that bumps him up to 4th on the Cowboys' all-time list in terms of consecutive sacks. Harvey Martin is the leader in that department.
Chris.
As we approach 4 minutes to go in the half. Chris Perry running it. Trying to get to the corner. 2 of them last year that curtailed the season on 1st down. Chris Perry tackled for a loss. Again, it's DeMarcus Ware.
I'm not sure if that ball, I couldn't tell by the blocking if it's going to go outside, but if he cuts it back, there is a gaping hole to the inside. Little indecision.
He's 20 of 35 for only 185 yards. 35 throws and $185. Back in the pocket, pumps, avoids trouble. Here comes Ware for his weekly sack to keep the streak alive and tie George Andre for the consecutive game sack streak, the 4th longest in club history.
Has a longer streak. And again they go to James going outside, but no way as DeMarcus Ware tracks him down, and they'll lose 2 on that one. Well, there's no question that the Cardinals are attempting to commit to the running game as best they can. They'd like to stay in positive down situations. Andre Ware doing a good job.
5. 1st down ends the game. Play fake, bootleg to the right, and he's sacked by DeMarcus Ware back at the 35. Big mistake by Warner. And that, of course, keeps Ware's streak going.
It certainly does. And he's got one in each of the last 3 games, I believe. Cincinnati, Philadelphia, at the end of this. But actually, Brad, I must say, not to correct you, it's smart play by Warner.
Oh, it is?
The last thing he wants to do is throw an incomplete pass to stop the clock.
Oh, that's true.
So he just bought himself 40 seconds.
Okay, very good. Literally cannot get out of their own way, and the problems have only slightly been on offense. Now Bulger fumbles the snap on the handoff, picks it up and steps forward, and rolls left and finally gets hit and buried back at the 30. 6-yard line by DeMarcus Ware. And they bunch a couple of receivers left, and Bulger goes back 5 steps. Ware's coming and hits him. He fumbled the ball and got it back. Ware's second sack of the day.
Cowboys take a timeout here. Ware gets the sack, and that ball, much like the Tony Romo fumble, Brad, last week in overtime against Arizona that just popped right back to Romo as he was going down. That's what happens this time here. Ware comes, sack, strip, and ball bounces.
In the shotgun at their own 43. And the snap is back. 5-step drop. Now here comes Ware, and Ware's got him again. That's 4 sacks for DeMarcus Ware. Wow. They can't block him. I know that much.
Now we're going to start talking about the NFL record, which Bob Jones is scurrying for. I know Umanura had 6 or 7 last year against Philadelphia.
You know what's interesting, by the way?
Single game.
This is his 10th game in a row with a sack, which gives him the Cowboys rushing in 3rd and 11 at the Dallas 41. Shotgun for Campbell. Back and looking right. And looking over the middle. Pumping. Flushed out. Hidden sack by DeMarcus Ware all the way back at the Washington 48-yard line. Now that's a big play.
And DeMarcus Ware, Brad, against Washington, now has a sack in 6 consecutive games, at least 1 sack against Washington. So they've seen quite enough in 94.
And that's a Pro Bowl player he's playing against, Chris.
Like they have with Bruce.
Handoff is to Gore. Nowhere to go. Dragged down by Ware, a loss of 1.
Hill back to throw, sets up, stands, pumps, hit, buried, gobbled up by DeMarcus Ware. You got everything but the safety.
Because he stepped up.
He actually never got into the end zone. I watched his feet. He only got to the goal line. Now the coverage had to be really good.
Yeah.
Because he had time to get rid of the football.
And I'm telling you, if you have coverage, DeMarcus Ware is going to get there. He does not get blocked and stay blocked for long. But you're exactly right. Niners are trying to get all this here. It's a deep drop by Hill, and it gives the
23. Slot right, I formation. Hasselbeck fakes the draw. Ware's coming, and Ware's got it. All the way back at the 32-yard line.
Ware got Hasselbeck, Brad, and then Jay Ratliff gets Ware. Ware goes up to do his little Incredible Hulk deal, and Jay Ratliff came flying in and knocks Ware down right after that, but he just beats Walter Jones, the 8-time Pro Bowler, right now at Jones' left tackle position.
I mean, that is a Hall of Fame tackle he's going up against, but it might be a Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Down below, it's been pretty much all Dallas. And the handoff is to Julius Jones, who goes nowhere. Thrown down by DeMarcus Ware.
We'll go back and take a look.
He's had a good half, 11 of 15 for 170 yards. And down he goes. DeMarcus Ware gets his second. And right now is only a half sack behind Joey Porter, who's had a career renaissance with the Dolphins, who leads the NFL with 14.5.
Well, DeMarcus Ware has really come into his own this year. You see, he's working against a great player that they're in contention with.
3rd down and 6. More pressure and another for DeMarcus Ware. His 3rd.
Well, DeMarcus Ware figured he had a couple sacks over there on the offense's right. This time he'll come over and work over on Sean Locklear. He pile drives on him, and he has to get off him. Locklear does.
Steelers trying to finally cash in on yet another chance as Willie Parker cannot get away from DeMarcus Ware.
And Deuce left again. Same formation. Shotgun snap is back. No pressure. Roethlisberger up in the pocket. Escapes. Hit. And DeMarcus Ware has him. Boy, he would not go down. He wanted to throw and run, and Ware said, I'm here. I'm staying with you. I'm not going anywhere. And Ware knew how hard Ben was to tackle.
He's a very elusive quarterback. I mean, him being a big quarterback is hard to take him down. He's a guy that knows how to string plays out and get the ball down the field. So, I mean, he's a good quarterback.
You know, I think at times it's to his detriment, though, Brad. He's fighting and fighting. Just get rid of the
1st and 10 at the New York 26 out of an I right. Manning back. Ware has come and got him, and he fumbled the ball. And there's a scramble for it at the New York 18. And I think the Giants have recovered it. The left guard, Rich Seibert, got back in a hurry. Well, that's as explosive as I've seen DeMarcus Ware.
Wow, and you've seen him explosive before, but he's like in a sprinter stance, Brad, there in the Olympics, and he comes out of the blocks. And David Deal, the left tackle for the Giants, just has no chance with this one. Manning is figuring, I must have missed a blitz. I didn't feel. No, it's not a blitz. You guys.
Giants in the red zone where they've been more than any team in the league. Manning back, pressured, hit, sacked, back at the 23-yard line by DeMarcus Ware, his second of the night.
Now, Brad, that gives him 18 on the year. You know where I'm going? You know what the NFL record is? 22 and a half, I believe.
Deacon Jones.
And I don't get it's Gastineau. Gastineau. They broke Gastineau. It's Michael Strahan. I only give him 21 and a half because that's that Brett Favre fall down at the end of that game. But, I mean, this guy is pushed.
And Manning is going to lose the ball. He's going to get sacked by DeMarcus Ware. And Booth comes up with it for the Giants. And that is number 8.
You know, DeMarcus Ware started this way on the first pass of the game, and here in the last 2.
And again, Dallas showing a 4-man front. One setback, and Flacco with play action, rushed, hit, sack, fumble. The ball's on the floor at the 4-yard line of Baltimore. DeMarcus Ware acting like he got the sack, and Dallas got the football at the 4.
DeMarcus Ware does get the sack and the strip. And it appears to be, Greg Ellis comes off of the bottom of this pile with the football. How about DeMarcus Ware? I saw him last week, Brad, on the floor, and he motioned over to me, and of course, we talked a little bit, and he had a 3-sack game. So I saw him going up the tunnel today, and I said, DeMarcus, get over here. And he said, what do you need? I said, nothing, but...
Little screen again. McGahee stopped, and he gets tackled. He'll lose 2 yards. Flacco to throw. Under pressure, checks it down to Neal. I'm not going to make many people miss in the open field and lose a yard.
You know what I like about this?
Westbrook tries the right side, nowhere to go. And DeMarcus Ware was back there.